while I, in this current state of mess, set up this workshop for this endeavor that I'm going to launch into, this new YouTube channel, this new life direction maybe, I'm going to tell you a story about something that happened today. And I'm going to tell it to you because sometimes in some of the woodworking YouTube channels that I follow, I see these guys who I think very highly of, who do fantastic work and are great at teaching through video, complain about the Chinese website Temu because it sells cheap goods that very closely resemble much more expensive goods, many of them American, goods that sellers in America have patents on, enabling them to have the monopoly on that kind of product. And the person on the video will talk about how wrong this is and how it's theft and how they shouldn't be doing it, even though it's cheap and some of the products are actually decent quality and so on. It shouldn't be going on. I do have some thoughts about patent law, and I'm not going to go into those, but I will share this story. So whenever I'm doing any large-scale building of things, not woodworking projects, but like walls or sheds or what have you, this is what I use. It's my Echo Ultimate 90 framing gun, and it's great. It's a beast. An excellent tool. I love it. I bought it used, and when I think I've probably finished all the large-scale building things that I'm going to do, I'll probably sell it, and someone else will get this wonderful thing. But recently I ran out of this stuff. It's gas. This is the fuel cell for the Echo framing gun. So I went down to Mitre 10, which is a big box hardware store chain here in New Zealand, where I get a lot of my stuff from. I went down there and they said, "Oh, look, sorry, we don't have any Echo in stock. What we will offer you as an alternative is this, Paslode." It's kind of, I guess they're the two main competing brands for these big framing guns, Echo and Paslode. I think that's the case. Anyway, but here, buy this one. It was more expensive, a fair bit more expensive actually, but I thought, okay, look, I need it, so I'll just buy it and all will be well. Well, all was not well, because the end of these Paslode canisters, here's the end of the Echo canister, the end of these Paslode canisters have this proprietary black thread type thing on them, meaning that you can only use them if you attach a Paslode nozzle. Now here's the nozzle that came with my Echo, because that's what the gun requires. It's a right angled nozzle, so it sits on top of the canister at a right angle and attaches to the gun. Here's the canister, here's the nozzle for the Paslode canister. It's a straight through nozzle because the gun is just differently shaped. So I thought, oh, well, that won't work. So I took it back to the store and explained the situation, and they said, oh, sorry about that, and so they refunded me. But they didn't have any Echo in stock. So I went to a nearby store called Tumu. Sounds a bit like Temu, but it's not. T-U-M-U, which is a mostly timber store, but they do tools and hardware as well. And I said, do you have any Echo canisters? And they said, no, we don't. And they weren't sure why that was the case. They thought maybe they would have to talk to their rep, because it's the kind of thing they thought they might have. But they didn't. And so I got on the phone to Echo here in New Zealand. Went to, I think it was echo.co.nz or something like that. Looked up a phone number and phoned it. And the guy on the other end said, hello, as they do. And I said, hey, look, I'm trying to find out where I can buy these Echo gas canisters, because I've been to a couple of stores and they just don't have any. And he said, well, I've got some in stock. It was another part of the country, not convenient for me. He said, but there won't be any more. What I've got in stock was all I've got, and pretty much no one has any anymore, because Paslode has managed to acquire a patent on this small gas canister design for framing guns. And because they were successful in doing that, they have sent a cease and desist letter to all the competitors who sell other brands of gas framing guns, And so they have to stop manufacturing and selling these. The only way you can now get fuel for one of those guns is to go to Paslode. And I said to the guy on the phone, wow, I mean, that's clever, but wow. He said, now, you can use Paslode canisters in Echo guns. And I explained the problem I had. I said, look, the right angle nozzle that I've got won't screw onto one of those canisters. So looks like I can't. And he said, yeah, he said, as it turns out, Paslode do make their own right angle nozzle, but they don't come with the canister. You have to buy some kind of multi-pack to get that. And so I had a bit of a look around in the store. I told this story to the guy behind the counter at Tumu, and he wasn't too impressed. And I discovered that the only way to get a right-angled canister, the only way to buy, a right-angled nozzle for the canister, for the Paslode canister, was to buy an enormous box of Paslode branded nails that came with 3 Paslode branded fuel cells. Now in New Zealand dollars, that was a few $100. Crafty. I mean, as I said before, they're playing the game well, but I'm not a fan of that game. Not one little bit. As it turned out, the guy behind the counter at Tumu, nice fella, had a few of these sitting around, and he gave me one. So thank you. In New Zealand dollars, that small Paslode canister cost $48 from Tumu. I was previously able to buy the Echo canister for $26. Now, all those prices might sound high to any American viewers, different currency, but the point is, it's a lot more expensive. So yeah, Paslode, not a fan of you. I would happily give Temu a few dollars. I don't think they sell these, but if they did, I would violate your patent. I would let them violate your patent with glee, you mongrels, as they say here in New Zealand. Not a fan. Not a fan of patent law either, in many cases, and this is certainly one of them. And that's my story for today.